Hello everyone, today I'm going to be sharing with you how to start a bullet journal. It's very simple. All you need is one notebook and one pen. And there you go, bullet journal. You can use any kind of notebook, any kind of pen. Regular, black, blue ink, or if you want to get creative and you want to have a nice and cute, you can use your favorite colored pens. These are my Stabilo let me see what they're called. Stabilo .88, and they're the fine tip pens, and they come in a bunch of different colors. You can use paint. You can use colored pencils, markers, highlighters, anything you want. You can use these kind of journals. This is just a plain small notebook. I get these from Walgreens all the time when they're on sale for like 35 cents each, or 3 for something, 3 for 50 cents or something like that for back to school. You can use a prettier notebook. Again, if you want to be more artistic, creative. This is lined. I typically stick with lined because that's the easiest thing I can find. You can even use a legal pad. There are some places that sell legal pads like this with dotted paper. You can even print off your own dotted paper from the computer if you want. Many people use a composition book. You can cover the front with something that you like, or even a spiral notebook. It just depends on what size you need it. Do you want to carry it around with you all the time? Are you a stay-at-home mom or wife and you don't need a tiny one to carry with you? So it's really up to you. You pick the size of notebook you want. Here are a couple that I've gone through. This was my first bullet journal, and it's a little tiny one. And it was lined paper. I think I might still have a few back here. Regardless, it was a lined paper, and I just wrote in it every single day. 1 page a day for my to-do list, and that was it. And I would highlight some events, and you just kind of make it up as you go along. After this one, I got this as a gift from one of my kids for my birthday. It was just a little dollar spiral notebook from the Dollar Tree, and I loved that he thought of me and got me a birthday gift, so I used it for my bullet journal, and he loved seeing me use it every day. So this is another one that I've used. And then after this, I went into something a little bit bigger. I loved carrying these around with me in my purse, but I honestly didn't really need them that often when I was out and about. So as you can see, I'm getting bigger and bigger with every book. So this was the next one I used. This I believe I got from TJ Maxx, and it's an Ecolo World Traveler book. Again, lined paper. The sheets are a little bit bigger. I could fit a little more on each day. And now my current bullet journal is this big one, this big massive one. You can see the size difference. This is the little one, the little black one, which is to here. And the thickness. You can see each of these. And now this one. Big, much bigger, very big and pretty heavy. This pretty much stays at home all the time. Very rarely do I take it out with me. So to set up, I'm going to use this old notebook that I have just because it's the biggest and it's the one I care least about wasting pages on. So, pen. Other things you can use in your bullet journal are washi tape, stickers, sticky notes, paint if you want to get creative, or you can just keep it very simple, plain notebook, regular pen, and get started. Here's what you do. Open your page. First thing you would want to do is have either a table of contents, which is by the original bullet journal creator. He calls it an index. but by definition it's actually more of a table of contents. He puts it in the front and he just writes index, and then say on the first page you write the first month. So on the first page you would write June and then the pages 1 through. First you want to number all your pages. You can either do that all at once, or you can do that as you use the pages. So I would suggest leaving a couple of pages in the front for your index if that's how you're going to do it, more like a table of contents, or you can do it the way I do it and actually have it as an index and not a table of contents. And I put it in the back. I take like 3 pages, depending on the size of my notebook, and I write A, B, C. I leave a couple spaces and go down D, E, F, again, G, H, I, then on the other side, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S. I think I left S on its own. Sometimes there's a lot of S's. Let me double check in my contents. J, K, L. Yeah, I left S, and actually I only have one thing for S. So this is a learning process as you, need. So you can do S by itself and then TUV like I did. And then on the last page, I have W by itself. Again, one that didn't really need a lot of space for its own thing. X, Y, Z, and then 1, 2, 3 for anything you start with. A page that you may start that has numbers. Now the way I use this is I use a pencil because I'm keeping my journal, and I'm a stickler for having it in alphabetical order. So I use a pencil, and as I go along in my journal and add things, you would either add it here to the front if this is the way you want to do it, or add it here to the back under the appropriate letter so everything is alphabetized. I do it in pencil so that way at the end of the year when I'm done filling in my index, I can put them in alphabetical order, erase it, and then put them in order with pen, and then it'll be permanent. So the first thing, after your table of contents in the front or your index in the back, either way you want to do it, many people set up their name and email address or name and address and phone number in the front of their book so that in case it gets lost they can get it back. You could do that. Basically, after you set up your table of contents or index, then you just get started. The way I start is I put my monthlies all in the front. All 12 months I draw out the calendar. So I would just, let's say this is going to be June for this month. And I tend to start my calendar on Monday because I like my weekend to be together. So you can do it this way, calendar form. You can be very neat with the way you draw your calendars, or you can do it free form. Any way that you want to do your book. It does not matter. This is your book. You're going to be the one looking in it. So then I would put June, then all of my months. July, August, maybe to the end of the year. So all of my months. You can do your month this way in a calendar form or the way that is shown in the original bullet journal video, which I will have that link below. But he just does it very simple in a list form. So he'll write down 1 through 30 or 31 and write the numbers in that list all the way down. And then next to that, he will write Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all the days of the week to the end. And then any events he has, he would write in the event like this. Doctor appointment, 3 p.m. So that's his thing for June. That's one way to do it. There's plenty of ways to do it. After your monthly, either your calendars or your list month. You can do future planning, which, like I said, the way I do that is I put all of my monthly calendars at the beginning of the book for the rest of however long I think my book will last. This thin book would probably last maybe 3 months, so I would probably do the next 3 months in here, and then a different kind of future planning in which you could make like boxes. So say this book lasts for June, July, August, September. So I would put my June, July, August, September calendars in the front, and then October, November, December, January, February, March, however many. And then these have boxes, so you can just add in a little thing. October 31st is Halloween. Even though I don't celebrate Halloween, that's just an example. There you go. So then that's your future planning. So after your future planning, some people also use this future planning called a Calendex, which I will list the video below that. It's a little bit more involved, and there's the original video that does it, and there's other videos. So I'll list some videos below on anything I can find on some nice layouts. I'm just doing this very roughly to show how to just easily and quickly start your bullet journal. Again, you can use a ruler and make these very straight. You can be decorative with color, anything you want. It's your choice. After the the monthlies and the future planning, if you wanted to add some kind of tracker, the kind of tracker I use in my bullet journal is, let's write this out, June tracker. I turn it on its side and I track some things that I like to do, like reading, crochet or knit, learning my Spanish lessons, and then some chores, kitchen, guest bathroom, master bathroom, etc. And then after that I could do some things like workout, multivitamin, water. If I drink coffee, for a while I was drinking too much coffee and trying to cut back. Sometimes I struggle with biting my nails, even though now they're long. If I bite them off, then I would put a nails so that every day I don't bite my nails, I would get a check. So then here you create a monthly thing. You would go 1 through 31, Monday through whatever date on top of that if you want, and say this is for June. So now every day, you have every day like this boxed off. If I read on that first Monday and I do my Spanish lesson and I clean the guest bathroom or my kids, it doesn't matter who does it, however you delegate it. If I drink water and work out and take my vitamin and I don't bite my nails. Okay, so that's my tracker. You can have things that you want to do every single day, or things that, like I just track my chores so that I know that about once or twice a week they really need to get done, and I can see at a glance, like, oh, I haven't really cleaned the kitchen. Obviously you do a regular maintenance cleaning, but I mean like cleaning it, scrubbing it. So you do that. However often you want to do it, you can track anything you like to track. Some people track their moods. Some people track their medicines if you have maybe a health issue, or maybe if you have a sleeping problem, like you have a hard time getting to bed by a certain time at night. You can track that every time you go to bed by your assigned bedtime for yourself. You can get a smiley face or a pretty colored in box, or however you want to color it in or check it off. You can do that. Now after the tracker comes basically the most important thing is your weekly or daily to-do list, your planner. So I don't do weeklies because I just use my book every single day, and I don't have a lot of appointments that I need to see them all out weekly like that. I'm a stay-at-home homeschooling mom and wife, so I do dailies, but if you want, you can do weeklies, and there are tons of amazing weekly layouts that you could draw. And if I find any videos, I'll post that. You can look on Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook. There are tons. So for daily, you can get very creative with your headers. Like you can do, this is one that was very inspired by another bullet journaler named Boho Berry. She does writes out the word with the extended beginning looking like an arrow, or you can do it like that with the date. It's 6, let's say 6/1/16. You can do the date under there, and then you just write out your to-dos. For this part of it, you'll want some kind of a key, which for beginners, you tend to put either at the beginning or back of your bullet journal. As you can see here, for this one, I was using a square to represent a task that I had to do, a circle for an event or appointment, basically anything I had to do that made me leave the house. A dot was for a note, and then some signifiers that went on the side of either the square, circle, or dot. So you can do that. Now the way I do it is I use a circle for an event. So let's say I have a doctor appointment at 3 p.m. That means I have to leave the house. And then I just do a dot for all of my tasks. Kitchen, video, whatever, wash hair. You can write whatever you want here. It doesn't have to be fancy. For holidays and birthdays, I tend to draw a little heart because it's just something special. So and so's birthday, okay? And then you can write a little task. Text that person. You can draw an arrow up to who you want to text. You can write out their phone number, whatever you want to do. And then basically the point is, now when you're done, what I like to do also on my dailies is track the weather. So it's a little cloudy with sun. I just do a little thing. I typically color it in pretty or draw it a little nicer. Now, what I do is this whole page I would have for my daily to-do. So once I'm done with Monday, just right under that, it would be the next day. Tuesday, 6/2/16, just for example. And then you just go on and you write all your to-dos, all your appointments as you think of them. I try to keep the holidays and appointments towards the top of the list because that's what makes sense to me when I read it. But sometimes you forget and you need to write in an appointment after you've already written down some to-do lists. So after you're done with this, the point is now in the middle of your day-to-day using your book, if you have something you're wanting to take notes on or anything like that, that's what collections are for. So you can turn the page and you can write out a list of books that you want to read. Your list of books can look like mine, which is simply a list. I have the title and then the author, title, author. Some people get really creative and make this whole thing like a bookshelf with some different size books and some even to the side. And then on these books, they write in the title and the author. And as they read it, you can color it in with a pretty color, or as I read it in my list, I check it off. And I actually also number them because I don't read them in order. So I might have like 9, 10, 12, 11, 13. So they're in different order here, but that's just on the order that I read the book. And I like to know how many books I've read since I've been tracking it. So that's a collection. You can take notes on a book you're reading. I recently read the KonMari Method of Tidying. So I added in some notes from that book that I wanted. And basically that is it. And then there's your collections. And now as you've done these things, you want to go back and add your page numbers if you don't already have them numbered, and add in your things. So June 2016 would go here on page 1. The calendar, June calendar, page 1, and page 2. Future planning, page 3. And you just keep on doing that, okay? So now, June tracker, page 4. You don't have to add in your dailies, but you can if you want. June 1 through 3, let's say. 1 through 3, page 5. And then after that, you have a books list, books to read, and a KonMari notes. Page 6 and 7. Now, as you're going through and using your book, say, now I'm all the way over here on my dailies on page 56, and I remember, man, I just finished a book. What book should I read next? You go to your index. I mean, your what the originator calls an index. This is actually a table of contents. You go to your table of contents or your index, and you would look under books. So here you would go to B and look for books, and it would say books, page, whatever. Here, books, page 6. So you just read down your list or go to your alphabetized list, and then you find your books page, and then you know how to flip directly to that and choose another book to read. So basically that is how you start a bullet journal. It's very simple. It's definitely up to you how fancy you want to get with it, how creative you want to get with it, or how plain Jane and simple you want to stay. And it can be more decorative or it can be more functional. It's totally up to you. But all you need is a pen and notebook to start. That is it. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'm sorry I didn't get too creative with creating this for you, but I just wanted to give you very quick and short examples. Hope you guys start bullet journaling. I'll post my planner playlist below, and any other videos that I think you may find helpful or enjoy regarding bullet journaling below as well. Thanks for watching. Bye.